The area home where he was found dead is reportedly his own home, and it was an assistant who had initially called 911 reporting cardiac arrest. From what we understand, he'd spent the morning very active, playing pickleball for a few hours, came home, sent his assistant out on an errand, and when the assistant returned a few hours later, found him in an apparent dire condition. I don't know if he was dead at that point or suffering some sort of heart attack, but he was found in the jacuzzi. What's unclear is whether or not he was just in the jacuzzi when he died or had drowned in the jacuzzi. So there's quite a few questions there. And dailymail.com has spoken to a longtime friend of Matthew Perry's and someone who was in recovery with him, who said he spoke to Matthew Perry just a few weeks ago and he sounded upbeat and sober and great. So this came as a really big shock to even people in his inner circle. I think there were fears among people who knew him and of course people who were fans of him that he could have potentially relapsed.
So it looks like the world of entertainment has been hit with some shocking news recently. However, it's not about the latest Hollywood blockbuster or a chart-topping song. It's about the tragic loss of a beloved actor from the iconic TV series Friends. The sad news of Matthew Perry's death hit millions of people, especially his co-cast members on the TV show, in different ways. And we'll be sure to tell you all about the reactions of these people towards Matthew Perry's death. Hey, I'm Kat, welcome back to Rumor Has It.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Will you watch my phone?
Why don't you just take it with you?
Hey, we haven't been on a second date. She needs to hear me pee.
Why don't you just call her?
I can't call her. I left the message. I have some pride.
Do you?
No.
Many of us remember Matthew Perry as the lovable Chandler Bing, the king of sarcasm and one-liners on the TV show Friends. So the recent news of his death came as a shock as we realized that good old Chandler is gone forever. As you may have already heard, Matthew battled with an addiction, and even after he announced that he'd already quit, he started struggling with various health issues. It's a certain hard truth to realize that Matthew is gone and we'll never quite see him in the same capacity again. This recent bombshell of Matthew's death has left many wondering if it was a result of the toll that his addiction had taken on his body, or if it was something else entirely. So what exactly was the cause of Matthew Perry's death? On the 28th of October 2023, Matthew Perry was confirmed dead in his Los Angeles home. The police reported that Perry was found lying in a jacuzzi at his house where first responders had attended to him upon receiving a call about Matthew having a cardiac arrest. But despite their best efforts to revive him, Matthew was already too far gone. Knowing that Matthew had battled with a drug addiction before, the police who were investigating pointed out that there were no drugs found at the scene. They also stated that no foul play was detected at the scene either. Hence, it was announced that Matthew Perry had allegedly died by drowning in the jacuzzi. Matthew Perry's death struck a chord as the actor was loved by a lot of people. Reaching the scene of Perry's death, where the police and onlookers had gathered, Perry's father also arrived looking extremely devastated. It's already a very painful thing when someone you're close to dies, and it's an entirely different thing seeing your own child die before you have. We all sympathize with Matthew Perry's parents just like we sympathize with his friends, and especially his cast members on the TV show Friends. Upon hearing about the death of their cast member, many of Matthew's friends from the show took to social media to express their heartfelt condolences. One of them is Morgan Fairchild, who played the role of Chandler's mother in the TV show. Morgan expressed her devastation at the news of Matthew's death on X, formerly known as Twitter. "I'm heartbroken about the untimely death of my son, Matthew Perry. The loss of such a brilliant young actor is a shock. I'm sending love and condolences to his friends and family, especially his dad, John Bennett Perry, who I worked with on Flamingo Road and Falcon Crest. Hashtag RIP Matthew," she tweeted alongside an image of herself and Chandler from the show. The official Friends and Warner Brothers Instagram accounts also made a post of Matthew paying tribute to him. The post read, "We are devastated to learn of Matthew Perry's passing. He was a true gift to us all. Our heart goes out to his family, loved ones, and all of his fans." One of Matthew's cast members on Friends, Paget Brewster, who played the role of Kathy in Season 4, also expressed her devastation, while even asking people to check out Matthew's book, saying, "I'm so very sad to hear about Matthew Perry. He was lovely to me on Friends, and every time I saw him in the decades after. Please read his book. It was his legacy to help. He won't rest in peace, though. He's already too busy making everyone laugh up there. And of course, that's not all. Many other celebrities, both movie and music stars, paid their respective tributes to Matthew Perry. Even the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, who also happened to be Matthew's elementary school classmate, paid his tribute on X as he tweeted, "Matthew Perry's passing is shocking and saddening. I'll never forget the schoolyard games we used to play, and I know people around the world are never going to forget the joy he brought them. Thanks for all the laughs, Matthew. You were loved and you will be missed." Similarly, another classmate of Matthew, Melissa Rivers, tweeted on X saying, "A high school classmate died today. So sad. Gone too soon. R.I.P." Many other co-stars of Matthew Perry also expressed their sadness across social media. Maggie Wheeler, who played Chandler's love interest, Janice, posted a picture of her and Matthew on Instagram with the caption, "What a loss. The world will miss you, Matthew Perry. The joy you brought to so many in your too short lifetime will live on. I feel so very blessed by the very creative moment we shared." In addition, Selma Blair, who was Perry's co-star in one episode of Friends, shared an image of them as she wrote how broken she is about Matthew's demise. Many other celebrities, including Adele, Wendell Pierce, Blake Harrison, and Hannah Waddington from the popular series Sex Education, just to mention a few, also shared a thing or two they remember about Matthew Perry, paying their tribute to him. Seeing the numerous love and tribute that's been shown to Matthew since his passing, we wouldn't be surprised if he's feeling it all up in heaven. And of course, we couldn't forget those whom he holds so close to his heart, his Friends cast members.
Well, the way that the cast of Friends helped me was they were understanding and they were patient. And, it's like penguins. When penguins in nature, when one is sick or when one is very injured, the other penguins surround it and prop it up and walk around until that penguin can walk on its own. And that's kind of what the Friends cast did for me.
When they all returned for the 2021 reunion special that was aired on HBO Max, Matthew got emotional a couple of times reminiscing on the good times they had together while filming the show. The best way that I can describe it is after the show was over, at a party or any kind of social gathering, if one of us bumped into each other, that was it. That was the end of the night. You just sat with the person all night long and that was it, he said as he described the type of bond he shared with his cast members. The cast of Friends stayed relatively close-knit throughout the 10 years in which they filmed 10 seasons of the famous sitcom. Even after the TV show was over, they still kept in touch, checking up on each other and being there for one another. To show how strong their bond is, these people supported Matthew Perry when they found out about his drug and alcohol addictions. Despite not wanting them to find out, Jennifer Aniston, who played the role of Rachel Green in Friends, somehow figured out that Matthew was dealing with a lot of issues, including his addiction. Since he acted like nothing was wrong, Jennifer had to confront him about it, letting him know that she already knew about his addiction struggles. Sources claim that his closest friends on the sitcom, including Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, David Schwimmer, Lisa Kudrow, and Matt LeBlanc, were completely shattered upon hearing about Matthew's addiction. Matt LeBlanc allegedly once tried to talk to Matthew during that time to offer a helping hand, but according to him, Matthew didn't open up to him. He said, "There wasn't a response. It's such a personal struggle. They need to bottom out on their own." However, every single one of them remained supportive throughout Matthew Perry's sobriety period, and also helped him get himself together while on stage. Matthew later expressed his gratitude to every single one of them in various interviews and also in a memoir titled Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. He mentioned that when they figured out about his addiction struggles, he was already someone who consumed up to 55 Vicodin pills daily, and his weight had increased drastically to about 128 pounds. But afterwards, Matthew got on his sobriety journey and started getting better. His weight reduced, and he was back to being his funny and charming self again. Hence, the news about his death came as a shocking revelation, with many of his friends wondering if there was something they could have done better to show their support towards him. While the investigation is still ongoing, the news of Matthew Perry's demise has not been an easy pill to swallow. Many of his fans have also taken to social media to express their sadness. One said, "Chandler Bing made us ugly laugh when Matthew Perry was literally tearing apart his real life. How could he not be special? I wish him relief from all that he carried. It must have been heavy. This one will ache a little too much." But that's all for today. Do you guys have any favorite memories of Matthew Perry as Chandler Bing? Share your thoughts in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear them.